Essentially declared the beginning of the Third World War. A staff writer for Zon News is reporting that the chairman of the Security Councils of the United Nations has officially declared from New York on Wednesday that after World War II ended, several countries have declared against the forces called the Islamic State. They've called for war against that. Now, an association of countries that was held includes the United States, Russia, Germany, France, Iran, and Iraq. All members have agreed together to destroy ISIS after they attacked France and Lebanon. Now, according to the Security Councils of the UN, the war, which involves 5 countries, or a war that involves 5 countries or more, is considered a world war. Similarly, the president of the Security Council for the UN announced that ISIS will be attacked in the next hours and will not stop until the supreme commander of ISIS surrenders. It states here that yes, so basically by the United Nations Security Council own definition, 5 nations involved in the same conflict officially is considered a world war. So now we have an official definition and essentially a declaration. It's not that the UN has declared the world war, but by their own definition, this is in fact a world war that we are witnessing. Now, we called this back in September when Russia first launched their first strikes against ISIS in Syria. And then, of course, you had the Paris attacks, which triggered France. And, of course, the United States has been there, and all these other nations. Even we just reported that North Korea supposedly has a militia, 2 militia units fighting there as well. So, World War, now officially defined by the United Nations, is taking place in Syria. So we're going to continue to monitor these developments, bring you the latest. Despite the Russian pullout, don't be fooled. A world war is underway. For the Next News Network, I'm Gary Franchi.
All praises unto Yahweh by Shimei Hosai. Double honors to the apostles of GMS. Honor to you brothers that be pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the 4 corners of the earth. This is going to be a relatively quick video keying in on some key events that are happening out there. And as you just heard from the video that you just seen there, pretty much like we've been saying for the longest, we are in actual fact in a in a world war, because they define it as 5 countries going to war against whatever as being a world war. Now, what you got out there in Washington D.C. as is going to be presented in this article is they're having a so-called conference of which they do these kind of things, these drills, preparations, and so on and so forth before they home in on a false flag attack. But see, as far as the people is concerned, it's the real deal. It's the real thing. Why? Because they've been preparing for it. All right. And what they're doing out there pretty much is discussing or trying to prevent, or as you're gonna see in the article, pretty much is they're having a conference on terrorists, which is them ISIS guys that ultimately the American government set up. Right. You're gonna have it to where if them ISIS people, ISIS group was to obtain a nuclear weapon, what would happen? So that's the summit that they're having as we pretty much as we speak. Okay, so it says at nuclear summit, world leaders take a closer look at ISIS threat. All right, so it says at the 4th Nuclear Security Summit in Washington D.C. this week, world leaders will have a unique opportunity to consider the threat of ISIS or ISIL in context of nuclear security. The recent terrorist attacks in Brussels, Belgium, carried out by brothers who were part of a plan uncovered earlier this year to try target a Belgian nuclear facility, right, underscores the significance of this meeting. Members of Obama's administration said on Tuesday. All right, so pretty much that's all pretty much self-explanatory, and they're using some of those, them, because when you go into these different events that happen, man, the events that happen in Belgium and Brussels, you always see something that's kind of shady, man. Something that doesn't really quite line up. Why? Because ultimately the elite banking families by way of trying to obtain their so-called new world order are setting up all of these different events out there in the world so that they could lead the people into taking the chip, into taking and accepting their Luciferian doctrine. All right, and ultimately to take in and home in on that new world order. But we're going to see in the scriptures as they're triumphing, all right, because they're, as far as they're concerned, they are succeeding in doing so. As they're triumphing, the scripture says that the triumphing of the wicked is short. Okay, so as they feel like they're getting it, but we also seen in the scriptures that as Esau is homing in on his so-called new world order, as he's finishing it, the scripture says as he's when he's about to fill his belly, he shall be in straits, man. All right, meaning he's going to be in difficulties. Why? Because you're going to have what's known as a spiritual intervention. All right, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is gonna prevent him from achieving that. And what's actually going to be achieved is, in actual fact, a new world order, but it's going to be a righteous new world order. All right, and it's going to really be a new world order, but based on old principles instituted by way of these Yahweh Hashem Yahweh, starting from Yahweh, which is the Most High, and his son Yahushua, then King David and all the men underneath him, who are going to be institutionalizing those laws. Where if you ain't following the laws, the full punishment and the judgment as prescribed within the scriptures is going to be implemented, man. We're going to have slaves. All right, we're going to have women in subjection. You ain't going to have it to where Esau's running rampant and got diseases and poisons and so on and so forth. You're just going to have balance, ultimately. All right, so it says, having this many leaders together at once provides us with an opportunity, an important opportunity, rather more, according to this article, in the wake of recent attacks in Brussels and other countries to address how we can enhance our capabilities to work together to confront the threat posed by ISIL. So, keywords to home in on there. All right, enhance our capabilities to work together. How can they enhance their capabilities to work together? The brothers out there in London, you can see the video on GMS Fear the Most. They did a video pretty much going to show you that the referendum that they're having out there in the UK is nothing but a hoax, man. All right, they have no intentions of splitting off from the EU. All right, because that's not conducive to their so-called new world order, man. They're about people coming together, man. All right, which goes back onto what? Onto Babylon, because Babylon is all about confusion and people speaking all the same languages and doing as devils do. All right, but the Most High has never been about that. The Most High has been about separation. That's why he said in Deuteronomy the 7th chapter and the 6th verses pertaining to Israel, thou art an holy people, holy meaning separate, and above all people that are placed above all the people that are upon the face of the earth, man. All right, so the law is about separation, okay, and that's why it also, like going back onto the precept that I quoted earlier on, that's why it says as he's about to bring all of these people together underneath one banner, he's going to be put into difficulties, man. All right, he's going to be put into straits, okay. Just to address, let's read on to the next line. It says ISIL deputy to enhance our capabilities together to confront threats posed by ISIL. Deputy National Security Advisor Ben Rhodes told reporters on a conference call, it says, both in context of preventing the spread of nuclear materials and also with respect to enhancing our own counterterrorism activities. Okay, now let's take a step back. Let's take a stance back. All right, and we've seen what America does to a country that has so-called weapons of mass destruction. All right, so the question is, why didn't they do that out there in Syria? Because you had it to where the Russians intervened. Okay, but see, they still wanna get Assad out. All right, so they're gonna go back in there. So what you got out there, which is a so-called ceasefire, that's not gonna play out, man. The Most High Lord said He's gonna put the spirit within them to where they're gonna have this third world war pop off, and as pursuing to this video we just seen, we are in actual fact by the UN's own definition, we are in actual fact in a third world war, man. All right, so it says representatives from 50 countries, along with international organizations like the UN and Interpol, all right, will attend the 2-day nuclear summit. It says the meeting is the fourth and final. All right, it's the fourth and final nuclear security summit initiated by the Obama administration in order to improve international cooperations in terms of securing nuclear materials. Okay, so that paragraph pretty much speaks for itself, because they're saying this is the last one. Well, we know on paper it's the last one because it's Obama's administration, and that's the thing that he brought out. So when he goes out of office, that goes out with him. But ultimately, we know that they might have this thing pop off, man. All right. So without much further ado, let me get into the book of Job, the 20th chapter, and I'm gonna jump around a little bit because you can read the whole paragraph for yourself. So this is Job, the 20th chapter, on the first verse. It says, "Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of a hypocrite but for a moment." All right. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens and his head reach out into the clouds, you got Esau's chariots, his planes, his skyscrapers, and so on and so forth. Though you're seeing that, all right, you ain't supposed to be dismayed at that. All right, because greater is the power that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to come in. The scripture does say that the Lord he's not going to meet thee as a man. All right. It says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. Right. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? Right. He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. When we read the book of Obadiah, it goes into that where where it pretty much says something to the effect of Joseph, which is the house of Joseph rather more, all right, which is the Spanish speaking tribes and so on and so forth. And the house of Judah we're gonna be as a flame, and the house of Esau as stubble. It doesn't talk about the other nations. Why? Because the other nations are gonna they're gonna exist. All right, they ain't gonna have co-rulership. They're gonna coexist. All right, in subjection underneath the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, but you're gonna have it to where Esau, as pursuing to these scripture and Obadiah, all right, and many other scriptures, Esau is gonna be ultimately exterminated, because he is the cancer of the earth, and when you have a cancer in the body, you have to burn it off. You gotta exterminate it. All right. And it says, and he shall fly away as a dream, and he shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. All right. Now let me jump to the point. It's pursuing to these nuclear missiles, man. The 24th verse. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bullet still shall strike him through. It is drawn, it cometh out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of the galls. Terrors are upon him. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. And what's a fire not blown? The same summit that they're having about, the same people that they set up not obtaining nuclear weapons. All right. But we know that they ain't going to come from no ISIL. Now, they might stage it at the first instances. ISIS did this, that, and the third to America or Russia or whatever. All right. As the instigator to really ramp up this third world war that we're in to the next level. All right, but ultimately it's been spoken about here. It's going to be coming from Russia going out there into America, or from Iran going out there into America, or China going, and so on and so forth, man. Scripture talks about millions and millions of missiles going over there, man. All right, it says, and the heavens shall reveal his iniquity. How's the heaven going to reveal his iniquity? Because you're going to be from another country. You're going to be like, you're going to see the what's known as the nuclear smoke, right? The nuclear fire smoke going up into the sky, and that's how Esau's iniquity is going to be revealed, man. All right, it says, and the earth shall rise up against him. It says, the increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of the wicked man, and heritage appointed unto him by the Most High. People think, oh, you just come up with this stuff and this, that, and the third. The scripture says that's the heritage appointed to you. That's what was given to you. That was your lot given unto you by Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So pretty much with that, hopefully, that was of some use. I'm going to say, all praise unto Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Double honors to the apostles of GMS, and honor to you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.